Good morning, folks. This is Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2022, and this on the screen it looks like an ornament could be for a tree, right? Just got to hook it on a branch somehow, but Taddeus, I'm glad you got your name on there. Certainly not my work, I make that clear in the caption, but it's 180 pentagons, all pentagons. Not necessarily regular, in fact. That's obviously not doable, but this is cool. All right, so I have a short story to tell. It's a pretty short story. It sticks to my desktop. I go across with browser windows. And I mention, the world that I'm in right now, and this is relevant because where where this channel goes often is into this particular tool set revolving around NumPy and stuff. NumPy, Python, so I should more generally just say the Python world, Python Planet. Let's see, I have a jump to a Jupyter notebook we've been doing to give the sense of where we're at. Here it is, so I just skipped some stuff. But what I like about that was a Jupyter notebook I was just showing you. This is an NB viewer view of a Jupyter notebook out in the cloud where I suck it out of my GitHub account. Talk about Planet Python here. Click into some slides about a PyCon here in Oregon. So what science fiction writers maybe didn't fully anticipate, and then someone at one of the PyCons gave me a book where maybe someone did, a science fiction writer. That was in Chicago. One of the students walked up, had heard me saying this, that what science fiction writers had not anticipated looking into the future was that computer languages themselves would be a strong enough glue to bring people together in a tribal sense. So you might speak all these different languages, like these folks, these are all from Brazil. This is Enrique. He might have been my house guest that year. He was once. And that's Luciano Ramallo, who I always recommend his book, Fluent Python, is one of the best. I didn't get to really know all these folks, but I've met other Brazilians in the Python world. And it's something that is pretty cool about humans is that they bond over a lot of different reasons, not just that, oh, we all speak English, because here we definitely didn't. This is the author of Math Adventures with Python, who I was just getting to meet for the first time. So I have a lot of nostalgia, I guess you can tell, around this, but it's saying that in this channel, in this YouTube channel, I do keep coming back to a certain sort of place. But it's a place you could say in the mind, but I don't want it to sound too fantastic. It's like Pandas is well known software floating out there for free, and I'm trying to recruit people. So I keep bouncing around showing these things in part because I want you to jump in and join us, right? Whoever you are, in whatever walk of life, take a look. It's an interesting place. Where's that Jupyter Notebook version? So if I go to my original and click on, when I say Jupyter Notebook, what I really mean to say is NB Viewer. Just lost that. But if I go up into my history and check out NB Viewer, let's see, where were we? Since it was already open, I don't think that it shows up as recently opened because I was already there. Let's go to my email. This is where I want to get to the end of my story already, which is, I've been working with the group in Lithuania about bringing more peace to to Ukraine. Like, how do we end all this conflict? That's also the main discussion here on Facebook with my friends today. I got another Earl and Philosopher guy. I got a NASA guy. But in my own neck of the woods, a concern I've always had, like I can understand why a PhD mathematician would not know much about the Bucky math. Because think about reading Borges. It's in the humanities, right? and Synergetics just shows up. Bucky's Synergetics. This is a sort of mind map of all the different system stuff that's going on in terms of tons of authors. And Bucky had a small footprint here. You can look through that window because he had specific meaning for the word system and so on in his technical language. He wrote a technical language called Synergetics that is a language, and some people have trouble learning it, just like learning French isn't that easy, right? So I've spent some time getting good at it, and it's not really the same as Haken's version of Synergetics. There's this guy Haken, connected, Herman Haken. And so when I get these emails like I did just this morning saying, oh, if you view this PDF, it's 2004, it's a long time ago. But I've noticed this pattern that she's Russian and this is translated from Russian. And what they want to talk about when it comes to synergetics in Russian studies and philosophy is something to do with Haken synergetics, which is fine. It's like Haken synergetics strives to be more Springer Verlag in how it presents itself, how it wants to dress up, what it wants to look like, in terms of clothing, like layers and stuff. And the Fuller stuff is much more um, extending American transcendentalism. So I feel that even though I understand why a PhD math person wouldn't get it, I don't get it why a Russian literature and philosophy student would be out in the cold on this and not know about Fuller's synergetics. And I think we in the core of the academic world who want to talk with the Russians more can unite here in this Python space and share more memes in that regard. Get the Bucky stuff flowing more in the synergetics realm. Like, where's the Russian translation of Bucky's synergetics? I don't have it on my shelves. Does it exist? Why not? Couldn't it? And I think part of the problem is this miscommunication or crossed wire starting way back, where a lot of the US people wanted to go study the deeper Bucky waters, and um, that left us out of touch with our friends here in Russia, let alone Lithuania. It's like it's being a lot of work to try to reconnect American literature to the East, because we're the West, right? The West is having a hard time getting the East to pay any attention to where we're going. But I think we can rectify that. We just need to work a little bit harder to get the memes through the right pipes. Facebook's helping, but that's kind of boomer tribe. So different levels. I've been using Urbit. We'll finally make contact in a more significant way, I think. For now, though, it's just being a lot frustrating. Talk to you soon. Have a good year.